Good morning, Twitch TV, and welcome everybody to another MMO Anthropology. I'm your host, Amarist, and I'm here with special guest TastyEcto. So, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's TastyEcto. That's my Twitch name. I generally go by Ecto. I just name all my characters basically off of Ecto. So every character I have is based off a different type of Ecto, just different names. I don't know. I just like Ecto. I have a huge stash of it, thousands of Ecto. I figured, might as well be the king of Ecto. But that name is unfortunately taken. Tried to buy it, but somebody wanted to have me pay too much for it. But yeah, I'm just a small streamer. I'm not really too big in the field. I just started about 7 days ago, actually. And I mainly stream PvP games. Currently, I'm about 150th on the leaderboards. Yeah, that sounds about right. I dropped a little bit, but yeah, I mainly stream PvP. I'm a Hollow main, so I play Hollow Smith Engineer. That's pretty much all I do is PvP as of right now. Other than that, I do a little bit of PvE sometimes, but I haven't really streamed any PvE yet.
Oh, so you started streaming like a week ago?
7 days ago, actually.
Oh, pretty good. That actually leads me into like literally my first question, which I actually generally phrase differently. But well, I mean, I was going to say why TastyEcto, but I think you literally just answered it. Like, so why do you have such huge stacks of it?
Because back when I used to play a decent bit, Ecto was used in place of Mystic Coins in the non-trading post trading field. So when you would sell raids, people would pay you in Ectos. And I just stacked up on a whole bunch of Ectos, and now I have, hordes of Ecto. And honestly, the name actually came from my Ecto gambling addiction, where I lost around about 10,000 gold, honestly. Honestly, we'll never never gamble Ecto again, but I figured I'd pay tribute to the thing that cost me a whole bunch of gold.
Well, for the purposes of people who don't know what ecto gambling is, can you describe?
Okay, so you can ecto gamble in this game, and what you do is there's three different options, but the most lucrative one is where you take 250 ecto and 100 gold, and you buy this consumable that when you unpack it, you have the chance to make liquid gold and ecto. And like the grand prize is, I think it's 1,000 gold or 2,000 gold. Just flat out, you could just make 2,000 gold liquid, but you could also lose money. So think of it as like a stack of ectos. I think it's like 65 gold right now. I don't really know. I haven't checked the price in a while. 65 gold plus the 100 you put in. So if you don't make 165 gold, you basically lost gold on your gamble. They actually nerfed it, so it used to be a lot easier to make gold, but now it's a bit harder. But yeah, that's basically what ecto gambling is in its entirety. Is just a sad time where you feel it's like going to Vegas. You're ready to win money, but all you do is lose money.
So I know that you chose this location specifically for this interview, so tell me a little bit about this place.
Honestly, when I first started playing this game, I started playing it for the PvP aspect. I didn't really play it for any other reason. I just really loved the very fast action-packed PvP. And I met somebody that played PvP with, and I basically told him how I skipped all of the cutscenes in the game, and I didn't really read the cutscenes at all or pay attention. So he took me to all these cultural hidden spots throughout the game, and this is the one that I fell in love with the most, if I'm going to be honest. I just love the way it looks. I love the quaggin that are laid about everywhere. Like, Commander. I'm not even trying to say his name, but Commander. I just love this guy. He just relaxes and lives his life.
Doop. Yeah. I'm trying.
I love the Quaggan. So Quaggan, I just feel like they're like puppies. Honestly, they're just puppies. You just got to protect them at all costs. They're awesome. So I chose this just because I think it looks awesome, and I love Quaggan.
Yeah, the little pilot whale people, I guess.
Yeah.
So you've been streaming like PvP for 7 days, but how long have you been playing Guild Wars 2?
I got the game in 2014.
Okay. So that's approximately like 6 years.
Yeah, 6, almost 7 years.
Okay. So what do you do on a normal day in Guild Wars 2?
So on a normal day at Guild Wars 2, let's see. I'll log in, see who's online. Honestly, see if any of my friends are online. If they are, I'll whisper them, get conversations going, because it's nice to have whispers and parties going throughout the game to do things. So I'll talk to them throughout the day, and then I'll just start like my gold farming process, where I'm not like a super hardcore gold farmer. So like I'll just go around and do my elderwood farms. I'll go collect my winter berries. I'll do my dailies on the EU, where I do my PvP. I just do PvP because it's faster. Do my PvP dailies, collect my 2 gold, do my NA dailies, collect my 2 gold, and just and then I go to guild halls. I collect my mats from there, and basically I just do that for like the first hour and a half. Like, say I'm getting ready to go to class, I'll do it while I'm eating my breakfast or something like that. And yeah, then I just move on to, if I'm actually going to sit down and play, I'll play some PvP. And if I'm in the mood to make a little bit more gold, I'll probably go either do a farm of some sort, like I'll do fractal dailies, or try and find a raid pug, but NA raid pugs are kind of dead, so it's kind of hard to find a pug group. But yeah, I take it by day, honestly. It's different every day, and I go through phases where I'll do PvP for like 6 months straight, and then I won't touch PvP for like 3-4 months because I get burnt out.
So how did you learn to play like PvP the way that you currently play it? What kind of resources do you consult, and how much of the game do you feel that you've experienced?
So what do you mean by how I currently play PvP? You mean at the level I play PvP,
yeah,
or just how much? Okay.
Well,
so
yeah,
how I learned is, honestly, I guess it's a little bit of natural talent. I guess you could say that. I don't really practice, quote unquote. Some people in PvE practice their DPS rotations and stuff like that. It's just natural game sense. And then the mechanical skill just came actually from playing PvE, learning the classes, just playing different classes. But watching streams, honestly. So I'll just name a few. Depends on which profession I'm quote unquote maining at the time, like throughout the PvP season. So right now, since I'm playing engineer, whenever Naru streams comes up, he's rank 1 on the NA leaderboards. He's been rank 1 like 3-4 times now. I'll hop into his stream and watch what he does, pick up some of the things that he does, and try and emulate that in my gameplay. And then sometimes I'll go back and watch his VODs and see what he did in a certain situation, and try and do that same thing in my own given time, like during the game. And say like 2 seasons ago, I played Thief a lot, so I would watch Syndrinner. I'd watch him all the time because he was EU, and he queued and streamed nighttime for him, but it was like midday, so it was like perfect time for me to watch his streams and enjoy his streams. And basically it's just watching the top streamers and the top PvP players for each profession is what I guess made me be as quote unquote good as I am right now.
So you'd say you learned a lot from watching streamers do what they do?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Like a teacher that it's like going to class, like a professor that I consider them a professor. I watch them, I learn, and then I use it myself.
And then you were able to reapply, like you were able to watch like people doing what they did on streams and then reapply it, like take you know, reapply their discipline like yourself, in action. Okay, I can totally
Right.
see that. And do you mostly do this on the EU servers, even though I think you're in the US?
I play PvP mainly on NA.
Okay.
I don't play PvP a lot on EU. I
Oh,
just go
okay.
there to do my dailies.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I just do it on NA servers, but I watch EU and NA streamers.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Um, well, what do you think of the PvP community on like on the NA servers, like versus the EU servers? Since you play on both, I'm really curious about that.
Well, I think it's kind of a common thing throughout every competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
NA's kind of behind EU always. EU always generally has the better competition and better players.
Mm.
Um, that's just how it is. Like if you look at the rankings on either of them, and if you take into effect Mighty Teapot's Masters of the Arena, you put on a NA versus EU PvP tournament, and rank 55 Dragons sweep the whole thing. I don't even think they lost one game. They just wiped the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They may have lost one or two, but some people were doing these best of threes, best of fives, very slim winnings, and they just came through and wiped without a challenge. Every game they played, I think the only team that gave them a challenge was the French Worms, and that's from EU. And that was
Mm-hmm.
during like the second round where it was still Swiss rounds. So I think EU is more active in all aspects of the game than NA. So
Mm-hmm.
rating, PvP, all that stuff.
Hmm. Interesting. Um. So, how would you say that you use your time playing MMOs differently than you do watching TV, movies, watching movies, or reading books, etc.?
Interesting question.
Yeah, that
That's
one. Yeah, that one is a little bit of a little bit of a different question.
all right. This one's going to be an interesting one to answer. So, what do I do different in MMOs than I do other than what I use in other entertainment things?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't know because I'm one of those people that when I watch a TV show or a movie, I'm that one person in the room that's just like, don't talk to me. I'm not going to get on my phone. I'm paying attention to every little thing that happens in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that person that picks up on the little jokes inside the show based on something that happened 10 minutes ago, just stuff like that. So I follow that over to here, but I guess I'm a little bit more relaxed and I guess just go with the flow in MMOs
Mm-hmm.
and also learning everything about it. When I get into a new MMO, I have to learn everything. I have to have everything maxed. I have to be at the top of whatever I'm doing. So whenever I'm in PvE mode where I'm doing raids and stuff like that, I make sure my DPS benchmarks are at the top. I make sure um, I'm the best person in my perspective group. And I'm not the best person in PvP. I'll admit that. And that's clear to see, but I'm trying. So just like I do over there, I try. So
Mm-hmm.
I go very hard in MMOs. I try to be the best that I can be.
What would you say uh the temperature of the community of Guild Wars 2 is, and by that I'm like referring to like the general like camaraderie or the behavior of the people is. Are they nice? Are they toxic? Are they helpful, etc.?
So in PvP or the entire game?
Like in general, like or
Okay.
is there is there like an inclination across? Like, are they generally like unkind in PvP? Are they much more helpful in PvE? Like,
Okay.
is there an expectation across the different game modes that you see?
So how it is, and I'm going to be 100% honest here.
Sure.
PvP is toxic to say the least. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's with pretty much any team-based competitive game. Everybody wants to win, and
Mm-hmm.
when they don't win, everybody gets mad. Everybody has that competitive side to them.
Yep.
But in PvE, I feel that Guild Wars 2 has the best community out of all the MMOs because you could have a completely new player that doesn't know anything type in chat and say I'm in whatever map just farming my nodes, just relaxing, and they ask a question and they're like, how do I get here, how do I do this? There there will be somebody that'll always answer and then go help them out. They'll even spend a longer amount of time with that person. Like I've seen instances where where a random person asks a question in map chat, a group of people just partied up with them and just played with them for hours, teaching them a whole bunch about the game, just exploring Tyria, explaining it all to them. And PVE, I'm 100% in belief that it's really not toxic unless you get into, again, like I said, the competitive things like raiding and fractals, where everybody just wants to get this stuff done and win, basically. Yeah, quote unquote win, because you can't really win in raid, you just defeat the boss.
Mm-hmm.
But in open world PvE, in day to day Guild Wars 2, you can pretty much count on anybody to help you. Not everybody, but a decent amount of people will drop what they're doing to help you.
Um. So, do you have a guild or community in Guild Wars 2?
I don't have a personal guild or community, no. I am in a few guilds. Um, I'm in loot. I'm in a whole bunch of guilds, honestly. I'm in four of them. I have bank guilds. I have PvP guilds. I have it. There's just a whole bunch. I'm in Muckluck's Bone Zone. I'm in his Bone Zone. I'm in it not necessarily for the community, for the max guild hall, so I could get the 10% PvP reward track boost and the harvesting nodes inside. So yeah, so generally I don't use the social aspect of the guilds. I find a couple people throughout that are in like different guilds, or they might be in my guilds, and I hang out with them generally. Like, yeah, that's basically what I do. I just find a group of people, I hang out, I queue with them, I talk to them, we get on Discord. I like it small. I don't like 500-person guilds, so I just find a couple people I like to talk to. We hang out, we play, and we enjoy ourselves.
So, tell me a little bit about the time that you spent designing the fashion of your character. I think the last time that we talked, you showed off all your different characters and the amount of time that you spent designing the fashion. Because I noticed you have a couple auras running on Dark Ecto right now.
Yeah, so I have a few accounts across Guild Wars 2 with all different names based on Ecto. So
Yes.
I actually have TastyEcto. It's an engineer, human engineer, on the account that I lost. I actually lost one of my accounts. It was hacked.
Ooh, ouch!
And
That
yeah,
sucks.
it was hacked, and it was my original account actually. It was the account I got back in 2014.
And you were unable to recover it.
I was unable to recover it.
Mm.
So, yeah, I actually, at that point, when I was unable to recover it, I stopped playing Guild Wars 2 for about a year and a half because, like I said, when I play MMOs, I want to have everything. I want to have all the legendaries. I want to have all the top tier things. And
Hmm.
when I lost all of the skins that I had, it's it hurt. Like doing the raid legendary armor collections and then sitting through all the crystalline heart things, sitting through the Chuka and Champwat
Mm-hmm.
jumping puzzle collection, and then doing all that, crafting Chuka and Champwat. When I log in the next day, I no longer have my account, and the support won't help me. It's actually really annoying, but that's why I took about a year and a half break. But back to what I was saying on why I designed my characters is this guy. I was mad when I made him. I was mad. It was the first character I made on this account, so I figured my return would be dark. This is Dark Ecto. This is the Ecto that would start off the new version of Ecto. So first, this was actually a female Sylvari, actually,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't enjoying the running model of how the female ran. And some of the armor models that I wanted to put on my engineer weren't looking right because how the female versus male um, skins looked.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another reason I just couldn't find a hairstyle I liked on female Savari. So I swapped it with a total makeover kit to male, and I've never looked back. And I just got all the quote unquote dark and evil infusions that I could to basically just master this look. So I have the ghostly infusion for the blue fire. I have the polysaturating purple because with my celestial infusion, it kind of makes it just like a blue hue. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a blue ghost just sitting there. And then I have
Yeah.
my night fury shoulders going, and as well as a black infusion. If I were to take everything off, I'd be almost entirely black, just like grayed out almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it ends up like just blurring together until into this kind of like amalgam of just this sort of like a nebulous goo.
Right.
It's very effective.
Yeah, so you know how you brought up how you choose a color and you make your characters based on a color?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I do too. So like this, I don't know what it was, it's just I liked the way blue looked on this character, so I just went with blue. So I went with Bolt. Everybody makes fun of the pistol I use because I don't have a pistol skin. I just have the red ascended pistol skin. So it doesn't match honestly, but I'm working on hope. I'm working on getting the pistol. Okay, I'm working on it. Um, but my elementalist, I went with pink hair, and that's why I went with the shining blade. So almost it's like I choose a legendary and then I match the legendary to the outfit. I guess that's a more accurate way to put it.
So when you spend a lot of time generating a fashion around a particular character, is this an expression of you trying to like present a particular artistic style and for yourself in order to show off when you're playing around other people, or like an artistic expression for you, or like when you're running around having fun, or like what's the presentation?
Wow, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. So I guess it's just whatever looks good at the
Okay.
time that I design the character. I have
Okay.
an idea in my head on I try to match the names to the character, like the design of the character. Like I have Professor Ecto, and I'm gathering everything for her. I'm getting like a plain shirt like with a tie. I'm getting glasses, the reading glasses. And I'm trying. It's an elementalist, so I'm trying to find a pair of pants that isn't a ginormous skirt. So I'm trying, but I'm waiting for his skin to come out. I'm
Oh yeah,
waiting.
that is weirdly difficult in Guild Wars.
Yeah, so I basically just match the names to the outfit, and then I guess it's my artistic style because if you all of my characters kind of look the same. They always have a form of shadow abyss black.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really, I can never, it's kind of weird. I can't match multiple dies. If my character has dies on them, every die slot is just filled with one die because I
Mhm.
cannot match dies. I don't think dies look good matched together, so it's just flat out all one die. So this character only has Shadow Abyss die on him,
Mhm.
and that's all. And I'm pretty sure that's all my Elementalist has on it. But the way the armor model is there's some white in there that goes in and mixes in. But yeah, so yeah, that's how I'd say I do it. It's somewhat of an artistic expression and somewhat of an expression of the name of the character.
So since you happen to do a lot of PvP, I'm really curious about the sort of things that you might tell people who were interested in like the experience of PvP in Guild Wars 2. Like, what would you tell people who were curious about like getting into it for the first time, like newbies who never ever got into Guild War, who haven't yet gotten into PvP, like what should they expect from it like the first time that they were going to jump in? What is it like the first time that you join like when you first get into the Heart of the Mist, what are the first things that you should expect?
Okay, so when you first join the Heart of the Mist in and of itself, it's very interesting. It's
Mhm.
very big. It's way bigger than the original Heart of the Mist. The original Heart of the Mist was somewhat straightforward. It was small. There was your bank, your PvP vendor, your armor vendor, your weapon vendor, and it was just all right there. But this one is larger, so it has an arena to where you can go in and 1v1 people, 2v1 people, just play around. There's golems where you can practice your rotations. There's mechanics that are in the PvP maps, like
Mhm.
lords, beasts, and stuff like that, that you can go practice killing. So it's this large entire area, but when you get into a game, like when you finally get into your very first game, honestly, if you aren't already mechanically sound with the game, I'm going to be honest, how the game works is your first unranked game, they aren't going to place you at the bottom and they're not going to place you at the top. They're just going to figure out where your skill level is after a couple of games. So you might not have fun the first game. It might be discouraging. You might not do good at all.
Mhm.
But when it comes to actually playing the game, learning what to do to counter certain aspects of opposing classes and opposing fights, which fights you shouldn't take. That comes with time, and as you learn that, you'll see your skill grow. And as your skill grows, it's kind of like an exponential graph until you eventually plateau, either because you've honestly just reached your peak or you stop putting in the, I guess, like practice, like how people practice for a sport.
Mhm.
So you just got to learn a lot. PvP is very daunting because it's very fast, it's very real time, it's very instant. There's very few skills that have cast times, if you think about it like that. So when, say, you were fighting me, a Hollowsmith, if you come at a Hollowsmith and you don't know what to expect, you're not going to have a fun time. There's
Mhm.
CCs, there's high damage, it's fast, and it will just be over instantly. Especially if you don't know which skills of your own break the stun, make you invulnerable, block damage, and other things like that. So I would really recommend just learning a skill set first, like the skills of your character, and just not to get discouraged. I would honestly probably just turn off team chat and map chat when you go into PvP and just play. Just play unranked, because at the end of the day, unranked is unranked. It shouldn't matter if you win or lose. Ranked is a different story because everybody wants to win in ranked.
Mhm.
So I hope you would want to win too going into ranked. But
Yeah.
unranked is a place for you to just go in and learn how to do what you need to do to fight somebody. So yeah, that's what I pretty sure think that new players should expect entering the Heart of the Mists. Just
Okay.
expect to have a fun time, but not instantly. Instantly, it's gonna be daunting. You're gonna get killed. It's gonna be hard. But like any other MMO, I'm sure you've played, because most people, Guild Wars 2 isn't their first MMO. There's a learning curve, and once you get on the learning curve, you're good.
I kind of like that as a presentation, and well, I mean, do you think that's a good way for Guild Wars 2 to present it to new players, like a little bit out of the frying pan into the fire, like so you're going to get smashed against the wall a little bit, expect to be rattled a little bit, but we need to rattle you a little bit to figure out where your skill level is, so that we can appropriately, throw you against the right opponents.
I think that is a good way to think about it, but I don't think a company would ever openly come out and say that about
Of
the
course
game.
not, yeah.
I don't think they'd come out and shoot themselves in the foot like that. But yeah, because because Guild Wars 2 is making a very large effort to include newer players into its player base, like moving to Steam free to play.
Mhm.
If you look at the stats, the majority of games that went from their own individual launchers to Steam free to play, their player base increased by a very large margin. Like, a lot of people started playing those games, and basically it's just, they're trying to gear it towards the newer players, while also considering that they have to have a give and take. They can't have everything to the point where you have to grind end game. They got to have a balance. So I think that's why they have everything set up the way they have it set up. But like I said, I'm not a dev at ANET. If I was, I would definitely spill the tea, NDA or not.
All right. So before I open this up to the rabble, as it were, I have one final question for the interview, which is, what is your favorite memory or experience from playing MMOs?
Okay, so this is actually the only MMO I've ever played.
Oh, okay.
So there is no game like this. I've tried to play WoW. I've tried to play. Yeah, that's about it. I've tried to play other MMOs. I can never get into them because none of them feel like Guild Wars 2. It's always, if it's not Guild Wars 2, I don't really like it. So, my favorite memory playing Guild Wars 2. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of memories playing Guild Wars 2. Honestly, my favorite memory is probably the time. It was a while ago. I think it was 3 years ago. I had a guild. I don't even remember the name of the guild. It was a guild that I joined, and I ended up getting like real close with everybody. And the majority of the people stopped playing, and there was just like 5 of us, and like 5 of us in this 300-person guild. And the 5 of us, for like 2-3 weeks straight, it was every day. We would get on, do our fractal dailies, do World v World roaming. We'd play crazy builds that made no sense at all. We basically just do everything that is quote unquote considered taboo in the game. Like, everybody is taking the game so serious in some aspects, and we just went, because it was 5 of us. Most group content is 5 or 10. So, all 5 of us were okay with, not winning a PvP game, but stacking 5 thieves with only short bow. Just going out, just doing crazy things has got to be
that's beautiful.
gotta be my favorite memory, was just making crazy memories. Honestly, it's just the camaraderie that I made with the 4 other guys that are actually still friends to this day. We don't live by each other, but we still talk. We have each other's phone numbers. We still talk all the time, but not all of us play Guild Wars 2 anymore.
Okay, all right. I'm going to open up the social on everybody. Anybody in the chat? Now is the time if you have any questions for TastyEcto. Oh gods. I was afraid I was going to make that mistake, and I just did. All right.
A lot of people make that mistake too.
There we go. TastyEcto. There is the shout out for him. Anybody have any specific questions? Go ahead and throw them out. And I will pass them along. So let me know. And then we will, if there are any specific questions. Is he going to watch the new Ghostbusters?
Ooh.
To see Ecto 1. That's from Raytheon too, okay.
If I'm gonna be completely honest, I've never seen Ghostbusters. The original, the remake with the women, I've never seen Ghostbusters, period, if I'm gonna be honest. So, it's on my list of movies that I need to watch, but I'm not sure when I will.
Eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of the, oh my god, when people find out the movies that I haven't watched, because there are a couple of them that I haven't watched that just completely boggle people's minds, make them fall apart mentally, because there's just some that, you know, they're just movies that everybody should have watched in their life, and I have not.
Serious question.
Okay, serious question. All right. I have a feeling it's going to be not so serious.
The wait is ominous right there.
I know.
Me first. What didn't I like about World of Warcraft and did about Guild Wars 2? I didn't. That's a wow. Okay,
That's interesting.
Things that I didn't really like about World of Warcraft was that World of Warcraft really, really likes to kill people. World of Warcraft really, really likes to kill really good characters and just remove them from play by turning them into villains for no good reason, in order to generate drama, in order to produce stupid wars. And things that I like about Guild Wars 2 is that they produce like extremely epic, interesting storylines regarding people regarding people and things that are dramatic and involve cultures that are trying to recreate themselves from their own past. Sure, off Maniac, please ask any question that you like.
Off Metamaniac.
Metamaniac.
Oh,
go
Lord.
ahead.
Jeez, this is going to be an interesting one. I have a feeling it's gonna be a not so serious question. I know him. I play with him in game.
A PvP buddy.
So, PvP buddy. Yep.
Awesome. I would love to learn. I would love to learn.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Just skip the question.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I read the chat. That's why. I'm reading chat too.
Okay. Well, I mean, we could probably end the interview. Okay, everybody. I guess that this we can probably end the interview here. I need to know.
Oh,
This has This has been another MMO Anthropology interview. I have been your host, Amorous, and this has been TastyEcto. Thank you so much for your time. This has been brilliant and wonderful. Oh, he said that he has not played any other MMOs. He said he has attempted to play World of Warcraft, but he did not like it very much. Thank you so much for the follow, Off Metamaniac. You are wonderful. I have been your host, Amorous, and this has been TastyEcto. And good night and good dreams, everybody. And we are going to go run off and run around Tyria. Later, everybody.
Do you play online games? Do you have Skype? Then we'd love to interview you on Massive Online Anthropology. Join the fascinating thousands who've spoken about their online gaming experience and be the envy of all your friends. Or at least get the MMO Anthropology Geek Merit Badge. Sorry, no t-shirt. See you then!